It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's talk. Because if you think
See that?
I mean, it's a multi-year project. Multi-year project.
Good evening, citizens of Louisburg Town Council, and welcome to our February Town Council meeting. I want to thank all of you for coming out, and we'll begin our meeting by having our roll call.
Mayor Neal,
Here.
Councilman Stover,
Here.
Councilwoman Woods,
Here.
Councilman Kingsley,
Here.
Councilwoman Wright,
Here.
Councilwoman Baker,
Here.
Councilman Roseman.
Here. Okay. The next is our invocation, and Councilman Roseby, could you give our invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for opportunity to come together, be about the town business. We ask your blessings upon this meeting, each and every one of us. We thank you, Lord, for watching over us during the ice and the storm. And we thank you for good weather. We thank you for your grace and your mercy. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. The Pledge of Allegiance, young ladies. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 4, the adoption of tonight's agenda. Could I get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to make an adoption to accept tonight's agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt tonight's agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. Okay, thank you. Item number 5, the approval of the minutes. These are the minutes that were recorded from our last month's meeting, January meeting, and also include minutes from our closed session. If there are no corrections on the minutes, could I get a motion to adopt the minutes?
Mayor, I would like to request the closed session minutes. There seem to be some transcription errors in council member names, but
Okay.
everything else needs to be correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. A motion to approve the regular monthly meeting and the closed session meetings with the appointed corrections of the names.
Make a motion that we accept the meeting, minutes that have, for our last meeting with the corrections.
Okay. It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the January 13, 2026 meeting, as well as the closed session minutes with the stated corrections. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 6, public comment. That's the time that that the citizens, you, can come before the council and express any comments that you may have at this time. Normally, we give you 3 minutes. We had the list at the back of the door. So far, no one has signed up. Since we picked the list up from the door, is there anyone who missed signing the list that would like to make a comment at this time? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item number 7. Item number 7 is a presentation by Louisburg Elementary School for Black History Month. Councilwoman Woods.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to introduce my 5th grade ELA class. These students were given a task to create a Black History project for an assignment. They have worked really hard researching, working, orating, and creating what you are going to see today. In a time where Black history is being challenged and erased, we honor and pay tribute to those who have paved the way. Today, we have Evelyn Bocanegra Vasquez, Radu Verenjak, Aaron Fajardo Tubiertes, and Marley Austin, who will be coming to give you a, and they have worked so hard. So give them a hand as they come up. Yeah, everybody in front.
Face the audience.
Face them. Turn around that way. All right, so we're gonna start with Evelyn. You ready? You need somebody to hold it for you? You need somebody to hold it for you? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I am Michael Jordan. I was born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, at Cumberland Hospital. I grew up there for about a year, and in 1964, I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina with my family. I grew up with a passion for basketball, and in 1981, I joined the University of Chapel Hill. And in 1982, I led the University of Chapel Hill to a national championship. In 1984, I was drafted to Chicago Bulls, and in 1986, I returned to the university to get my degree. I started playing professionally for Chicago Bulls, and I am also famous for breaking records, completing goals, achievements, and many quotes. Like my most famous quote, which goes like, I've missed more than 9,000 shots, I've almost lost 300 games, and 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and failed. I failed over and over and over again in my career, and that is why I succeed. I have completed many awards in my career. I am about 52, and in 11 days, 10 days, I will turn 63. I am now officially retired, and I am now an investor in the brand Nike. I retired 3 times in my career. First, at the age of 30, in October 6, 1993. The second time I retired, I was 35, and it was January 13, 1999. The final time I retired, which was the official retirement for me, I was 40, and I retired on April 16, 2003. I'm known as somebody who has changed Black history and basketball history too. I'm Duke Ellington. I was born on April 29, 1899, Washington, D.C. I was known for being a jazz musician and a pianist. I started doing piano when I was 7 years old. My career lasted, and I mean,
Okay. Thank you.
my career lasted over 50 years, and I led my own orchestra in 1924 into my death. And I had one son named Mercer Ellington
Yeah.
that was born in March 11, 1919 in Washington, D.C. And when he was older, he focused on maintaining the musical legacy of me.
You got it?
He led the Ellington Orchestra until 1974 into his death. And in 1996, my son was a band leader, a trumpeter, a composer, and an arranger who toured extensively, conducted the Broadway and a Grammy Award for the album Digital Duke in 1988. Duke, and also I moved to New York in 1923 and became a pivotal figure by leading my orchestra composing, and from 1927 during and 4-year residency at the Con Club, I revolutionized jazz with a unique sound and broadcasted on radio, played, played, played a Carnegie Hall, and lived in heartily creating a lasting musical legacy. And I forgot to say this, but my full name is Edward Kennedy Ellington.
And I was born in 1944, October 29 in North Carolina. And here is a lifetime of my story. I was a renowned major league right-handed pitcher, best known for throwing the first no-hitter in Texas Rangers franchise hit star in 1973. A 12-year MLB veteran, he was a key pitcher for the 1979 World Series champion Pittsburgh Pirates, and I was selected as a National League All-Star in 1980. And here are some fun facts about me. Most people call me Jim Bibby, but my actual full name is James Blair Bibby. Number 2, Jim Bibby, I was a physically imposing pitcher standing 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighing 235 pounds. I was the brother of former NBA player and coach Henry Bibby. I was the uncle of former NBA star Mike Bibby. In 1975, my favorite color and jersey color was red. In 1978, my favorite color and jersey color was black and gold. In 1982, my favorite colors were green and blue, also my jersey colors. And in 1972, I had the MLB debut with the St. Louis Cardinals. In 1973 through 1975, I was traded to Texas. In 1975 through 1977, I was traded to the Cleveland Indians. In 1978 through 1981, I joined the Pittsburgh Pirates, winning the 1979 World Series. In 1980, I was named to the National League All-Star team. On May 1981, I retired 27 straight hitters after allowing a lead-off single. In 1984, I had the final MLB season with the Texas Rangers. And now, sadly, I passed away in 2010, February 16, from bone cancer. I was 65 years old.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Dedeker, and I was born on November 9th, 1731 in Maryland, and my occupation was a scientist, surveyor, aluminic, author, and a farmer. I was famous for making the first wooden clock. At 21, I constructed a striking clock almost entirely out of wood after examining a pocket watch which kept accurate time for over 50 years. Another thing that I did was also mapping Washington, D.C. In 1791, I worked with Andrew Ellicott to help map out the new capital city of the United States. This city would later become Washington, D.C. The area was a square around about 10 miles, 16 kilometers on each side. Then I helped by using my astronomy skills to figure out exactly starting points for the survey. I also kept a special clock to help with the measurements. Another thing that I was famous for was predicting the exact time of a solar eclipse. I calculated the precise timing and a path of a solar eclipse that occurred on April 14, 1789 at 7:37 a.m. My prediction made independently contradicted from the forecast of more established mathematics and astronomers of the time, providing his exponential skill. I achieved this through diligent study of mathematics and astronomical texts, building upon my invention of a wooden clock, which aided his celestial observations. I died in October 9th, 1806. I was 74 years old, and the day I died, my house burned down.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank all of you young people for coming forth today and coming to our town council meeting as well. Thank you. You're participating in our civic process. And again, thank all of you. And Councilman Wood, Council Lady Woods, thank you as well. Okay. All right. The next on the agenda is item number 8, the white flag discussion, and also of a possible contribution. You know, ladies and gentlemen, within the last few days, we have had record cold weather, and we anticipate that that will continue as we go along in this winter season. Also, you know, in the summertime, we have had record hot weather as well. And the white flag is a facility that is open to accompany families, children who have no heat in their homes. They can find some refuge in a facility which we call White Flag. And we have such a facility that has been operating on North Main Street with the Methodist Church, and also another facility out on Industrial Drive. We, the town of Louisburg, has been, you know, asked to participate in this effort in some way. First, we were asked to see if we could donate a facility. However, we were not always able to do so. So we decided that we'll try to do something. And that something has been in the form of a donation that will be given to the Methodist Church and the Interfaith Council for use in helping them with their effort to provide these services in cold weather for people, the citizens of Louisburg who needs this. They have had some families that has been in this facility and utilized this facility during this record cold weather. And our donation on the consensus of the council would be $5,000. Now, this will be divided into $2,500 increments that will serve during the winter time, which is now, to cover families utilizing these shelters in the cold weather. And then later on in the summer, we will donate the final $2,500 to these organizations to help facilitate what we call cooling stations to help families get out in this record heat to stay cool. So that is what we're doing. And we just wanted to let you know, the citizens of Louisburg, that we are doing something to help our citizens as well. This is what we've decided that we can do. And the council has agreed to do this. The total again is $5,000 given in $2,500 increments.
Mayor,
Mhm.
I would like to, before we go ahead and make this, I think it's very important that we all recognize how important it is to help our community and the need that is out there by doing the right thing. And we saw that, for a perfect example, with the monks, with the Walk of Peace. And I think in reflection of, like I just recently heard, at a funeral for Lisa Bird, who was a big contributor and big motivator behind this. It was mentioned in her funeral, talking about putting faith into motion and how important that is. But I also need to question our responsibility and some questions that we should ask ourselves as we do this. Again, I think it's important that we think of what we're doing as we're doing it, but also the responsibility for our citizens. So I question the factor, is there anything that the county is also doing? Because it's important to give our community the why. Is there anything that the county is doing that is also supporting causes like this for White Flag Shelter, for those in need, where we're basically not putting two straws in one cup, siphoning from the same funds? If they have that, what are the services that they are providing to the community?
Okay. I personally do not know of any efforts on the part of the county yet. Perhaps maybe Councilman Stover could shed something in that area. But right now, I do not.
I met twice with the county. We had a Zoom meeting that involved initially all the department heads in the county, plus the county EMS director. At that meeting, there was a vigorous debate over how to address the upcoming cold weather. It was debated whether or not the county would support our efforts at the Methodist Church or open its own facility. My assessment of that meeting was that the majority of the department heads, particularly the social services, was in favor of the county supporting the effort at the Methodist Church. Nicholas, blanking on Nicholas's last name right now, he's the director of EMS, took our recommendations and said he was going to meet with the administration. After that, it was announced that the county was going to open their own separate facility out on Industrial Drive at the health department. As it turned out, that night we had, I think, 10 folks at the church. They ended up having none. The county did assist us in providing some cots, and they offered to provide emergency generation if we lost power. We met again after that operation, and I guess the best way I could put it is it's still under consideration as to whether just how the county, the town, and the private entities, the nonprofit entities that are trying to bring together this operation. The Interfaith Council is moving to bring in an outside expert who has helped set up a public-private operation in several other counties. So we'll be working on that. I can't speak for the county, but I think there are quite a few folks in county government who are very interested in making sure that we have a adequate shelter. And there's really two issues here. We have the white flag. White flag is to provide shelter when the temperatures or the really wind chill drop. The national guidelines is 35 degrees. Our church has chosen to use 20 if there's no precipitation, 25 if there is, simply because we don't have enough volunteers. And the county has helped us in trying to recruit some volunteers. We trained, I think, 14 new volunteers last Thursday night, including 5 from the Bud CERT organization. So I think this is an ongoing process. We certainly appreciate the contribution from the town. The church is also looking at possibly trying to develop a facility on the south side of town where I think it would be closer to the folks that we're trying to serve. So this is an ongoing process. I don't think there are answers to your question. I think they're good questions and it's good points. It's an ongoing discussion.
Have we had these discussions with the county beyond just the meeting, that we had just before this inclement weather? Is this something that we can say we have a history of tracking where communication has been had with possibly Nicholas or even Ryan Priel?
I think there'll be ongoing discussions, but I don't think there's any set agenda or program right now. I think this is something that has to be worked out.
I would agree with you. And I'm not trying to be that guy, to be honest with you. I'm really not. I want to make sure that we have a responsibility of our citizens to allocate where our tax dollars are being spent. This is part of that due process that we do. Let me reiterate, I support those who are in need. But like I said before, putting 2 straws into 1 cup, having our taxpayers of Louisburg taking money that we're bringing to the table responsibly, what does that look like for our community? What does that show them? Is there another way? Are we looking at other avenues where we can possibly support the county? Because if I heard you correctly, you said that we didn't have anybody from the county shelter that was there, but we had representatives that were there. Is that correct? We had people there to assist?
Well, they weren't at the shelter. They provided us with cots, and they also provided us with MREs, meals ready to eat. They came today and picked up their cots, and we decided not to use the MRE, so we returned those. And I can't say that there's any definite plans, but there's ongoing discussions. And I think this brings up something. We have been discussing this idea of a private-public partnership for almost 2 years now. And when I keep hearing over and again, well, what about liability? And what about, this and this? What about our regulations? And all I can say is other counties have worked through these issues. All right. My father was an insurance adjuster. He once told me, you don't ask an attorney if you can do something, because he's always going to say no. You tell an attorney, this is what I'm doing, do the best you can to protect me. I mean, if we're going to sit around and worry about, being sued on everything we do, we wouldn't get anything done. All right. You do the best you can. We were concerned at the church that we should have a church member present. But that limited us because we only have so many church members. So I talked with our insurance man. He said, well, not really. He said, the policy doesn't say that. He said, now, you should train anybody that comes from outside and, make sure they know what they're doing. All right. And we have insurance. That's what we have insurance for. So, our church has stepped out. A lot of other churches have stepped out to help us. As Sean has alluded, I'm a Christian. Christ calls on us to take risks. All right. So I'm tired of hiding behind these, I think, false concerns. I think they are concerns that can be dealt with. They have been dealt with elsewhere. And we need to, over the next year, work through these issues and come up with a plan where we have a private partnership, public partnership that involves the town, the county, other towns and other agencies. It's ridiculous that we're not providing these services to our people.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you're leading exactly where I'm thinking. Have we talked about the possibility of partnering with other towns and also with the county with the ability of assistance instead of it just relying on our Louisburg citizens? You're right. It is important to us to be Christ-like and to support that process. I also personally have an obligation to our citizens to ask these questions. So that's why I'm doing it today, because the community has trusted us as a board to ask these questions. And, I'm wondering if, this is a possibility that, maybe we have some further discussion regarding this. Do we table this discussion? Do we talk about what kind of outreach do we have to the county and other towns around us? I'm not saying that we shouldn't do this. I'm saying that we should do this responsibly and not just relying on Louisburg to make that movement. Because, at the end of the day, I would love to, bring everybody to the table to help, but we have to do it right. We have to do it right. And that's where my conscience is leading me today. So these are the questions that I need to ask.
Well, it isn't just, okay. When I'm talking about what our church has done, it has not been just, we have provided the facility and we are the lead agency, but we are partnering with several other churches, both in the town and in the county. As I just mentioned, Bud Cert brought a whole bunch of their folks and offered to help us. So this is more than just a town effort. It is it's being spearheaded by the Louisburg Methodist Church. We're the lead agency along with the Interfaith Council. But the Interfaith Council is not just Louisburg. It involves multiple churches around the county. And
They have
expanding.
a great cause, and I support it.
I think I would certainly like to see more input from the county. I think that we'll be having further discussions as we go forward. It might be good for this council and our administration to make some formal requests to the county to meet to discuss this issue further and how we can. We just had like some simple, when the snow hit, we have volunteers all over the county, including people in our church, but we couldn't get them to the church because of the snow. And I asked the county and the town for help getting people, and I was told, well, we've got liability risk, and I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. I think that can be worked around. All right. The government, the state doesn't hesitate to send out the National Guard when these things are needed. Why can't we use some of our facilities, our equipment to be able to move volunteers? We had to stay open for a whole weekend because we were afraid we couldn't get people moved. All right.
So you're open on both sides?
You're open 4 nights in a row.
We were open during a 2-week period, we were open about 12 nights and 2 days completely. We were facing to having to do another weekend. And this is where the county did step up. DSS said, okay, if you can't open, keep your shelter open, we'll put the people that you have in your shelter up at a hotel for the weekend. And that's what they did. And DSS,
There was some help there.
yeah, DSS did pay for the hotel, and provided support in that manner. So, yeah, I think this is a developing process. I haven't heard anybody say, no, we don't think it's, this is a terrible idea, we shouldn't do this. It's just, there's a whole lot of these issues that have to be worked through. And I think we need to start working. We sort of, opened the shelter last year. We struggled through it. The good weather helped, it came, and we just sort of put it. And then all of a sudden we got this horrible cold snap, and we should have done more planning over the last 9 months. And I think we need to learn from that. We need to move forward. One of the things that came up the night with the ice storm, where we were anticipating loss of power, there was almost no facilities in this town that has a generator backup that ran the HVAC units. And so we were looking at, what are we going to do with our folks if we lose our heat? And we were going to move them into the basement and try to run a few generators outside with some drop cords going down into the basement to some space heater. One of the things we really desperately need is a Generac type of setup somewhere in the town. Our church has actually been discussing this for, I think about 3 or 4 years now. Our disaster relief committee has been discussing how we might be able to use our facilities if we had that, in case we did get a major power outage, not only for the folks that we serve under the white flag, but people. We had a couple of families call us. One family of, I think, 6 children, or 6 altogether, 4 children. They called. I spoke with them and said, look, we don't need your help unless our power goes out. If our power has come out, can you come? I said, we'll do the best we can. And fortunately, I've been in Louisburg for 40 years. I don't think I've ever gone more than 2 days without power, even after the hurricane. But there's no guarantee on that. So I think that's a next major issue, is we need to work on it. So we have a facility in the county that could serve not only the homeless population, but anybody who loses their power during a storm.
Do we, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
certainly agree that we should be helped. I certainly believe that we need shelter, and we should step up to the plate and help. My concerns is, should we put fault in this at this particular time? When I hear this, I'm hearing Interfaith Council, I'm hearing Methodist Church, and who's actually getting the funds? Should we put thought in this? And I certainly agree that maybe we should table it and meet and come up with some type of a plan. The town come up with a plan, and you may be able to, because the crisis is with the ice and the snow is over, and there may be others that's coming. Bad weather, I don't know. So we may be able to use that funds in helping in some other way at this particular time. If you gave the $5,000 now, or gave $2,500 now, what would that go towards?
I agree with that. I think we need to define our purpose tonight, that this is just a discussion of a possible contribution. I think we all agree that we would like to continue that collaboration with the county, Interfaith Council, different organizations. So I'm hearing 2 things. Mayor, you have the power to form ad hoc committees. I think if you could have 2 or 3 council members, not a voting majority, of course, and maybe Sean or another representative from staff, that could be designated to participate in these ongoing conversations. And the second piece, the contribution, is just a discussion. So I don't even know if there is the formal need to table versus we pick it up another day. I'm not sure how that works with agenda items, but because it is a more casual discussion, I don't know that we have a need to table to a specific date. But I would agree, I'd want to hear more about what those funds would specifically go to and be used for when we have more of a plan than to approve it tonight. Where it sounds like a lot is still up in the air.
Do we
Have made great progress in the last 2 years. People are talking about it now, where it wasn't a conversation before.
Do we have a line item in the budget that calls for humanitarian acts?
No.
This might be something to discuss moving forward.
They're project specific.
And I think these are important, pieces that we should, definitely consider moving forward. Budget season will be coming up in the near future.
We do have within the general fund, a line item for council projects. So
Okay.
Something like that, community outreach.
Okay.
We don't currently have anything that's specific, but it's something to consider.
I'm not against it. I want to make sure we're just doing the responsible thing as representatives of the community.
But yeah, one of our big limiting factors seems to be we keep waiting until the crisis is upon us. And as a public body, we're limited. We can't all just hop on a Zoom call real quick. It has to be deliberate, make sure we're respecting open meetings laws and voting majorities. So if we could have an organized ad hoc committee, Mayor, I think that might help quite a bit.
Will do. We'll appoint such a committee, ad hoc, for this issue. See, this, because as has been articulated, this is something that we need to do. See, there's always a first time for everything. And this is the first time that we, as the town of Louisburg, it's dealing with a challenge like this. And yeah, I agree that we should have some preliminaries in place to move forward on this. Now, I think it's extremely urgent that we get this committee in place and talk with these other agencies, because we don't know what next week may bring or next 2 weeks may bring weather-wise. At least we would have had this discussion and had something in place with these agencies on how we can move forward, because I would not want another extreme cold front to hit us and we have some serious, citizens, pass away as a result of weather, so we'll immediately get on appointing an ad hoc committee. That will be, I get a couple of council members who may feel like they want to participate.
I would gladly volunteer my time for that, Mayor.
All right.
We can't have more, we can't have 4, so.
Right.
2 council members and the mayor.
Yeah, and open to any other citizens from any of the agencies that come about. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Do we parliamentarian? Will we need a vote now? I'm doing this. Okay. We'll just. I'll beginning within the next 24 hours. I'll move to set up this committee. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. The next one, item 9, is our AI adaptable use policy. James, could you explain that to us?
Mayor, Town Council, I am James Harris, the Director of Information Technology for the town of Louisburg. This is consideration for adoption of an AI acceptable use policy. Starting on page 11 of the agenda, I think it goes from about 11 to 13. It's like a 2 or 3 page policy. The attached AI acceptable use policy is submitted for council review and consideration. This policy establishes standards governing the use of artificial intelligence AI tools by the town of Louisburg employees. A little bit of background. Artificial intelligence tools, including platforms such as ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot, are being increasingly used in workplace environments to enhance efficiency and productivity. While these tools can provide operational benefits, they also present potential risks related to data security, confidentiality, and compliance if not properly governed. The town does not currently have a formal policy addressing acceptable and prohibited uses of AI tools. The proposed policy aims to provide a clear guidance to employees and ensure the responsible, secure, and appropriate use of AI technologies in our municipal operations. The proposed AI acceptable use policy defines acceptable and prohibited use of AI tools, employee responsibilities, safeguards for sensitive information, best practices for reviewing AI-generated content, and reporting enforcement procedures. Adoption of this policy will promote consistency across departments, mitigate potential risk exposure, and support the town's commitment to transparency, accountability, and sound governance. There will be no anticipated fiscal impact for the adoption of this policy. Staff recommends that the town approve and adopt the AI acceptable use policy as presented. I, in a motion, move that the town council approve and adopt the AI acceptable use policy as presented.
Any questions for the council relates to this?
It seems smart, covers all the bases without being too limiting. We definitely need something in place. I like the no proprietary data.
Yes.
No financials.
Any other questions?
How is this policy developed?
I developed this policy using guidance from NICOGISA, which is the North Carolina Local Information Systems Government Association. I went to a conference back in May, and then one back previous, and I went to a previous like seminar before that with FEMA. And so in cybersecurity, this is a big thing that's coming up now, this AI acceptable use policy. So a lot of people from and agencies across North Carolina are developing AI use policies for their organizations, so that information that doesn't need to be put into these AI systems is not going to end up being put into them, like personal information, PII, social security numbers, etc.
Any other questions? If not, could I get a motion to approve this new AI policy? It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the AI acceptable use policy as presented. Question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So have it. Okay, thank you. All right, item number 10, administrative report. Mr. Medlin.
Mayor, Town Council, thank you. We don't have a lot on for the administrator's report this month. However, we've discussed briefly about the ice and the snow that has come. We were very fortunate that we had little to no impact on our infrastructure, which I'm very excited about. I would like to take the opportunity to thank staff for their commitment to keeping our community safe and operational during the recent storms. However, you may have heard since then, we had a couple major leaks the last couple of days. So we've had some organizations down. So that happens when we have weather and things begin to warm up a little bit, we can have issues. So staff addressed those issues quickly and promptly and got things back going late last evening. So I appreciate that. The last thing I'd like to note is that Town Hall will be closed Monday, February the 16th in observance of President's Day. And that's it.
Thank you. The next is item number 11, the mayor's report. As usual, just want to share some experiences I had, and in particular, the one that recently we had within a couple of weeks, my experience with the Buddhist monks that came through Louisburg on their 2,300-mile trek from Texas to our nation's capital. I must say, in my being around these gentlemen, they, in my view, at least from my experience, exhibited what I call a quiet dignity, with peace being their theme among all of the chaos that we are experiencing here now, all of the hate that is being generated in the country now. These gentlemen came through, not saying a whole lot, but their sheer presence brought about this calmness, this feeling of peace. And I feel just within that aura that they presented, it proved that love and peace will conquer hate. And I was very pleased to be in their presence. I also pinned the town's pin on that robe that was worn by the lead monk, and also a pin for my church as well. And all of the pictures following that I saw being from someone else on their journey, that whenever you could see that robe there, I blew it up to make sure I could still see that pin that we pinned on there. And it's still there. So that was a great feeling. And I'm sure the citizens enjoyed them too. And I'm pleased that they came to our little town of Louisburg when they could have went a lot of other places. Also, we delivered the senior boxes as well on a monthly basis. That I've done that. And another thing that I wanted to share with you, last month we talked about the expense that the town incurred through the HB 183. I received a response from Mr. Winslow's office. And tomorrow, I will be meeting one-on-one with Representative Winslow regarding the financial impact that House Bill 183 has had on the town of Louisburg. As you know, this legislation resulted in $18,901.67 in unbudgeted costs to our town. As mayor and as part of this council, we have a fiduciary responsibility to protect taxpayers' dollars and ensure that when action outside of our control impose financial obligations on the town, we pursue appropriate remedies. My purpose for this meeting is threefold. First, to formally address the reimbursement for the documented costs incurred by Louisburg as a direct result of HB 183. Second, I will advocate for improved communication and consultation between state legislators and municipal governments before future legislation impacts local governance and finances. And third, to discuss our town's infrastructure and public safety priorities, ensuring that Louisburg remains well-positioned for responsible growth and long-term fiscal authority. I approach this meeting from a position of strength, representing this council and our residents, while maintaining a spirit of cooperation and professionalism. My goal is not confrontation, but accountability and partnership. And I will report back to this council following the meeting with a clear update on the outcomes and the next steps. I also asked Council Member Stover to accompany me with it to this meeting. I will be meeting with Representative Winslow and a person that he named as well. And I felt that it's only appropriate that if he has someone in the meeting with him, we should have someone in the meeting with us. And I've asked Dr. Stover and he has agreed. And we will be meeting tomorrow at 12:30 at Representative Winlow's office in the Capitol Legislative Building. And we will be bringing back some results for that. Okay. So that's my report.
Mayor, did we get any response from the county for possibly getting a grievance period so we can?
Yes, I spoke briefly with Miss Michelle. Yeah, she agreed, yes. Because we talked in depth about how, how much work that her office had to endure to put this together.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that they had not planned to do. But as a result of HB 183, they were forced to comply.
So they're working with us. That's wonderful.
Yes, yes. And also, we did get the bill back from the November election. Now, this is a normal bill that we were expecting. This is our November election, and that totaled to $6,771. $6,771 as compared to $18,000. So,
It makes sense in a way because we were the only October special election, so where they might have found efficiencies doing the other municipalities in November, it was just us, a bunch of,
okay.
a lot of land work.
Okay, that's my report. And so we'll move on to item number 12, the police report. Chief Lincoln. Okay. All right. Item number 13, fire report. Anyone from? Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Item number 14, council comments. Councilman Roseby, anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I just want to say, we had a great meeting tonight. I was very much impressed by, Council Lady Wood's, class, being an educator myself, in the school for 25 years. I was impressed by those young people who came up and very enlightened by them in wanting to recognize Black History Month. And so, Councilman Woods, thank you so much for bringing your class and allowing them to come. And thank each one of you for coming out today.
Council Lady Baker.
Nothing really special. I echo it's always nice to see students. Children are our future. It's nice to see them practicing their oration skills, and thank you all for coming.
Councilwoman Wright.
Yes, I also enjoyed going out meeting the monks, and I would like to thank Councilman Kingsley for the ride. Because you know, when the leaks come down, I close the door, close the blind. But when we got that text, I'm like, oh wow. Then I text Sean saying, what time will my ride be here?
Kingsley
answered. He was the only one answered. But I really enjoyed it, hanging out with him and his buddy, Bill, and that was great. It was a great honor to be there. It was like, I never thought about going because I'm like, they're coming from Louisburg. I'm not going to walk in there. I said, maybe I can walk down to the main street. Yeah, when they said, no, they're coming down the big boat, I'm like, well, that counts me out, cuts me out. But it was a great opportunity for us. And I also would like to thank the town of Louisburg, the guys did the maintenance, cleaning the roads and everything. Because they had to come back over to my road a second time because it was ice, and I had 2 trucks come down in the yard, big trucks delivering stuff. and they couldn't get up that incline. I'm like, why did you come down in here? Everything is closed. The governor said stay at home. And but it was a mess. But I enjoyed that. And I would like to thank the town for coming back doing that. And also my son told me to tell you guys. He went to his daughter's graduation in London January. She graduated with a master's degree. And I texted him, I said, well, when will you come home? He said, I'm going down to Spain to visit some of my Navy buddies for a while. He said, I'll be back when y'all get rid of all that snow. But he told me, looking at the TV out there, because he always take his 5 sticks for other countries going to, and he saw on the news it came up. And that was Franklin County Courthouse, and the guys was out there shoveling the snow. Now he's sitting in Madrid, Spain, and he saw you guys, so he told me to tell you y'all doing an excellent job. And I thank you all for that. And I also deliver senior boxes, and I enjoyed that as much. And thank you all for just being so supportive of being a part of Franklin County. And my nephew, the judge, said he was so amazed with Franklin County and said we all act good on the camera along the way. So I thank you all.
All right. Councilman Kingsley.
I too had the honor of joining with amongst presidents with, I think, everybody who has followed them throughout the world. It's a beautiful thing. Like I talked about earlier, at Miss Lisa Bird's funeral, faith in motion, and to watch that, what does that mean? It's one thing to stand up and do something. It's a whole nother thing to stand up and hold that presence and be brave, which brings me also to our students tonight, which was, it takes a lot of guts to get out there and do that. It's not an easy thing to do. Even we as adults can fumble, but it was a beautiful thing for them to stand up and, represent the future growth of where we're moving forward within our community. So thank you for bringing that forward. Thank you to the principal as well for being here. I had a chance also last night to go to the county commissioners meeting, met Dr. Hardy. I think we're in good hands. I really do. She's a wonderful person, and looking forward to what she can do for all of our schools moving forward. And thank you to all the staff workers who braved the ice and storm. A lot of them didn't stay at home. They stayed here in town. We're ready. Thank God we didn't need them. But we're privileged and grateful that they were here for us to give up their time. So thank you to all them. And make sure you thank your local workers through there.
All right. Councilwoman Woods.
Thank you to all the staff who stayed during that storm. Yes, thank you. You all did an amazing job being ready. Thank you to my principal for coming and watching our babies. Thank you to my students. They're going in because it's a school night, but they did an awesome job. As you said, it's not easy to stand in front of people. They were nervous, but they did an awesome job. We've been practicing oration skills for a while. So a lot of them memorized it. You notice a lot of them memorized it. And it was a lot to memorize. They had a month to do it, and they did an awesome job. One person I do want to pay particular homage to was Jim Bibby. He, Franklin County native from Franklinton, born and raised in Franklinton. So I did want to pay homage to him. And he's also my second cousin. So, but I did want to pay homage to a Franklin County native because a lot of times we don't pay tribute to those people who come out of Franklin County. We have some awesome people who come out of Franklin County. And so I wanted to spotlight, our Franklin County natives. We have a lot of people, who have contributed and have done things. So kudos to my children. They did an awesome job. And thank you all. Again, thank you to staff. Thank you for everybody coming out. Our photographer, which was my son, he's gone now. But thank you. And thank you to Mr. Best, too, who was my other photographer. Thank you again, everybody.
Councilman Stover.
Well, as the fact that I was a Pirates fan, I appreciate that you brought up Mr. Bibby. last few weeks have been a real struggle, but I want to publicly thank the just myriad of volunteers that we had to help run our white flag. This was a community effort. And I think the other thing that I've really been very pleased about with this effort is that it's been a real positive, I think, influence on racial relationships. That we've had lots of cooperation from Black churches and white churches. And we've had folks, I think, come to our church on our side of town who were very hesitant to come. And they found out that we're here to help. And there's a lot of, as much as we've seen all the racial hatred out in the public, I think we're really working on putting that aside here in Louisburg. And that to me is something we need to be very proud of. And I appreciate all the comments about where we need to go forward with the white flag. And as Sean alluded to, we lost a very key member of our committee, Lisa Bird. She was one of our, we just been devastated by that loss. And it also sidelined her husband, who was the director of our task force, fell on my shoulders for the last 2 weeks, and I can't wait for him to get back. So, but thank you all, and we'll keep doing the people's business.
Thank you. Okay, item number 15, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Okay. It's been moved and properly second that we adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay. And thank you, citizens, for coming out to our meeting. Encourage you to continue to come out for our next one as well. Thank you and have a safe travels home.